Thank you. Let me explain why opposition won this debate from three perspectives. Number one, what they have proven today is some teenagers are intelligent, some teenagers are rational enough to make criminals with their own responsibility. Yes, we agree, but not all teenagers are like that. They are talking about very specific rare case, and we are not sure whether case by case is really possible at all. Because what my partner explained is that preconceptions or previous bias might influence the ways in which jury or doctors might make calculation in the first place. I don't know whether that kind of case-by-case judgment is possible at all. So let's talk about vast majority of cases rather than some rare cases, because that's the general assumption of any social policy, the presumption of demographic characterization. What I talked about in my speech is in vast majority of cases, many or most of all, teenagers find it very difficult to start their life again due to disproportionate social sanction by media sensationalization. It's very hard for them to restart their life, to get new jobs, to re-engage with their social activities because their reputation is already disproportionately damaged. They have nothing to lose. They have no risk. These people are more likely to commit crimes again because these people entrench their anti-social mindset disproportionately, and these are likely outcome of this policy. We believe this kind of social ignorance and social irresponsible retribution turn these teenagers to be criminals again and again, and this is the consequence of this proposal. Even if they prove that age is not a legitimate criterion, so what? You just this individual, you just marginalize this individual and increase crime rates. What's the purpose of talking about theoretical policy if that is a consequence? Second reason, what they talked about is if the prison is problematic, let's separate facility. And well, that's huge concession because you principally agree with us that it is legitimate to make differentiation based on foreseeable consequences and demographic characterization of individuals. Because you support separation of non-violent criminals and violent criminals, right? That's a huge principal concession to what we are doing right now in the status quo. Please imagine the situation. Under their model, maybe teenagers are surrounded by adult non-violent criminals, maybe tax evasionists, maybe cyber terrorists, maybe head of mafia, maybe embezzlers, maybe those who deceive elderly people, right? But under our model, these individuals are surrounded by people with the same generation. These people are able to engage with community building just like a classroom. Which paradigm facilitates or encourages rehabilitation? The answer is axiomatic. Number three, victims suffering. Well, I understand victims might not be satisfied sufficiently. But first of all, emotional satisfaction of victims is such a subjective value. Criminal justice system has to prioritize more objective values such as social security or reduction of criminal rates rather than like emotional satisfaction of victims. Sorry guys, emotional satisfaction is not the paramount criterion in a criminal justice system. If that logic is true, then any punishment can be death penalty or capital punishment, but that's not the case here. Secondly, they explained that mitigating factors is what they are happy to apply, but that's contradiction. If you concede the mitigating factor is applicable to in many cases, you necessarily deprioritize emotional satisfaction of victims because some heinous criminals will receive a smaller or a shorter punishment sentences if you consider mitigating factors to reduce sentences. And that's very contradictory to your approach to satisfy victims' feeling. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask you, what's the purpose of and priority of the criminal justice system? We believe rehabilitation of these individuals, protection of these individuals, and enforcing social security is the paramount criterion in this specific context. That is why we are happy to oppose. Thank you.